Call the meeting to order. We'll all stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Charlie couldn't make it tonight.
I think that's his first one.
I think so.
Is he on a cruise again?
No.
He's working.
Yeah. So, oh, done. This is preparing. Okay. Can I look at our agenda?
Sure.
It's going to bring it up on here. All right. We're going to have any comments, unscheduled comments from anybody?
About the agenda items.
Madam Vice Chairman, can you do Lieutenant Ventura first under appointments? even though he
Okay.
wasn't?
We don't have
Come on up, John.
anybody. Come on up, John.
Where do I go, folks?
Sit right there. You're in the seat. Okay. John is here to talk to us about spending money from the, what's it called?
It's called the revolving,
Revolving.
special detail revolving fund, which was approved by warrant article several years ago.
Mhm.
And just recently legislation changed that statute a little bit that allows it to be spent for any purpose deemed fit by the public safety official in charge of that, which is the chief.
Good.
So I've come here today to ask your approval on the expenditure of funds for two items out of that. The first would be two Glock, what they call Auto 43 9mm, they're called a single stack. What it is, it's a much smaller firearm than the chief and I carry currently. We currently carry the regular size Glock that all the duty officers carry. It's a bit more bulky. We asked for it for a couple of reasons. One is which is safety. Okay, it's Chief and I do go to off-campus meetings quite a bit, if you will. Not every day or anything like that, but and we don't normally wear a uniform. We wear a business attire. It's much more concealable under a suit coat. Where I'm in court all the time, I do represent as an officer when I prosecute, but sometimes I don't like to have a gun shown. But I feel in this day and age I have to be armed all the time if I'm represented to be a police officer. If I'm in a low-pro cruiser, I still have to have a firearm on me. So for that reason, we would request the expenditure of up to $750 from that fund for the two Glocks, which would total $653, and then it's roughly $45 for each holster, so that roughly equates to $750.
Okay. Do you know how much is in that fund?
I believe there's about $12,000, if I'm not mistaken. That's generated from details.
Yes. Right, good. And what else?
The other expenditure, we would request up to $1,800 for the purpose of purchasing two, what we hope to be infrared portable cameras. These are, we feel, a necessity. For several years we've been utilizing a game camera, if you will, from the sheriff's office, which has been helpful when we get complaints of thefts and so forth and so on. I remember it was very helpful in catching thieves for the Myers construction site a couple of years back. However, the quality is not terrific and they're not always great at night. It did take extra time to identify those people with those. So, my experience in the past with Kingston PD, we used infrared cameras, which are very, very helpful, high resolution, can be used any time of the day and the night. We don't have an exact quote on those yet because we're trying to get them where they might be wireless for us. And the other, and just for several uses, for example, in this town we've had trouble at Turntable Park. We've had trouble down at the beach, after hours things with people walking their dogs, excrement, and so forth. Neighbor disputes, it could be used for graffiti on a school. Even businesses that actually have cameras, but they're blocked areas.
And they can't have audio, right?
These will not have audio, no,
No.
because that's under the wiretapping
Right.
statute. And we wouldn't do
Just a
that.
camera.
This is just a camera to help us to kind of, it would actually bring us up a little bit within the times with other law enforcement agencies that we would have this technology. So we would ask for up to $1,800 for those cameras as well. Please.
I have a motion.
want to do a blanket motion, or do you want them
Let's
separate?
do the blanket.
John, those two weapons for $750 total, is $750 each.
$750 total for two firearms plus two holsters, so that's the whole amount. So the total of the request would be $2550.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion to allow the chief to expend up to $2,550, pending what they find for cameras, up to $2,550 out of the Fund 5.
No. Detail fund?
Oh, the details.
Special
It's
detail.
already
Special
fun.
detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, special detail revolving fund.
Okay.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, John.
Thank
Thank
you very
you,
much for your time today. Have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, next, see if I can find my agenda. Town Hall interior painting bids. Should bring this up. Do you have that, Kelly?
Sounds terrible, huh?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Oh, try to page
We're gonna
it.
get a curtain someday. Okay, let me,
Yes, I had one bid.
oh,
Hang on.
Pass that to her. So we put it out to bid, and the deadline was last Friday. I put it in the newspaper and on our website, and I mailed it to 5 painting companies. 2 in Wakefield, 2 in Wolfboro, and 1 in Portsmouth. Including the painting company that gave us the quote that we included for budgetary reasons, and that company did not bid. So the budget that I had for the painting, the connector between the library and town hall, was done by Consider It Done Painting out of Wolfboro Falls, and that quote was $7,880. That's what we budgeted. And when I put it out to bid, I only got one bid, and the total of the bid was $6,050. So it's my recommendation, because it's $1,800 less that the board award the bid to Crowell's Painting and Drywall Finishing from Wakefield.
for everybody out there, this is for painting all walls, ceilings, and trim with 1 coat of Sherwin-Williams or Benjamin Moore paint, also thoroughly cleaning the rubber baseboards. Room outside of Children's Library, painted 1 coat, ceiling, trim, and walls. He will provide all materials and $6,050.
What's the name of the event, any better?
Crowell's Painting and Drywall.
Motion to accept, Madam Chair.
Second? All those in favor?
And if we provide workman's comp and insurance.
Yes, the insurance, and he will also take down all the bulletin boards and remount them. And I have talked to the library staff about not taping anything to the walls once we get them painted. They
That'd be
tape
good,
things
yeah.
for the kids, so I talked to them briefly about if we need more bulletin boards. I'm happy to talk to them about that, but I would prefer they not tape anything to the walls for a little while until they've been painted for a while. I know there's tape you can use, but
New business is the
Wow. Target New England for Heritage Commission projects. This is for the putting up of the tower?
so this includes 3 things that the Heritage Commission put out to bid. They put out to bid the new roof on the blacksmith shop, also doing some structural work, I think, on the blacksmith shop,
Yes.
and then re-erecting the water tower that was taken down and moved from Guilford. Was that
Mhm.
Guilford? So those 3 projects were put out to bid, and Target New England, I'm not sure about the roof and the structural work on the blacksmith shop, but I know for the water tower, they were the only viable bid. She did get one other bid that was about $20,000 more, but it only came in via email, and the bid specifically said that it had to be in the office, either hand-delivered or mailed, and properly marked, and that is not how she received that bid. So it was the only viable bid for the water tower. And this money will come from the bequest that they got from the Beth McCreary's estate.
So this will not, taxpayers will not be asked to pay this?
No. No, and I included the contract that Target New England wrote up. I did send that to Rick Sager just for review. He suggested a couple of minor details that I sent on to Pam Wiggin, the chair of the Heritage Commission. I think we just want to be sure that both parties know what the expectation is, especially with the water tower, because we've had some conversation about that before. And Pam has not gotten back to me. So if she wants to make some small tweaks to the contract, but I have used this company. They painted my town hall in Greenville and did a really nice job. He gets a boom and he did a nice job. Mine was outdoor painting, town hall, and so he had to police the area and pick up his things every day, and the staff he had was very trustworthy, and they showed up when they said they were going to show up. They finished when they said they were going to finish, so I was happy with his performance.
With talking with him, he seemed to know exactly what he's doing, and that's a big thing, because you've got to know what you're doing with that water tower.
Well, and I know when I
That's
interviewed
tricky.
him for the town hall, he does a lot of historic work, a lot of belfries and church towers and town hall towers and clock towers, so he really understands the importance of historic structures, and also that I think he got up on the roof of our town hall and we needed new soffits, and you know, I'm not sure he's even a woodworker, but he replaced boards for us, and he did a nice job, so we were happy with him.
That's good.
So do you guys want to authorize Pam Wiggin or me to sign the contract once it's approved, you know, once we have a final draft? That way we don't have to wait another 2 weeks.
Motion to allow the town administrator to sign off on this contract when she's satisfied with the wording in it.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the next thing is, I can't seem to bring up my agenda on here.
The Little Free Library.
Free library.
No, that's okay, we'll share this one. Thank you, Tony. Now, this is a request to put up something in Turntable Park. Is this?
I believe is it Turntable Park or the little park over here?
Turntable, Garden Playground.
Oh, it's
So-
Yeah, it's right
Oh,
here.
this one,
It's
yes,
this
I'm
little
sorry.
playground right here.
And it's gonna be where they can put books, that people can come and take a book and bring a book and put
It's
it
like
in
a
there.
honor
Trade
system.
back and forth.
Yeah, a little honor system library.
Mhm.
They're popping up all over. There's an organization that actually does them. The little structure looks kind of like a birdhouse on it. You know, it's very small, discreet, but it fits a few books in it. And I think the only caveat, and she has agreed that, you know, any maintenance and will be,
Up to them.
yeah, she sent an email. Her name is Sarah Cook, and she's looking for permission to place one of these in the Garvin playground across the street from the town hall. Simply a little library box, weatherproof, on a post. The post will have to be poked into the ground. This is a place where anyone can take a book to keep or leave them as well. It helps promote literacy, and while they're adorable. There is one at the Milton Town Beach Playground and also one at Albee Beach, which I believe is the public beach in Wolfboro.
Yep.
They're all over the world. It will actually be registered online under the Little Free Library trademark, and it will be on a map for anyone to find. I'm waiting to hear back from Wayne Robinson for permission. So she actually sent Wayne the picture. I don't have the photo of it, but he he said, you know, as long as he's not responsible for it, he just doesn't want, he's a little worried about vandalism or theft, and he just doesn't want, but as long as she's okay with it, then she understands the responsibility and what potentially could happen. I mean, it isn't like we can really police it 24/7.
She might be able to.
Back here.
Yeah.
Yep,
No, sir?
yep.
Motion to accept, or to allow Ms. Cook to place the Little Free Library box at the playground, pending Wayne Robinson's permission and some sort of contract to protect the town.
What kind of contract would that be?
Just to make sure that she signs off that she's responsible, if something happens to
Oh.
it, to get
Okay.
vandalized.
If I just do a letter from you guys with the conditions and your,
Sure.
okay.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is request for waiver of fines, fees, tax acquired property.
So we tax deeded a piece of property on Bedrock. And I believe it's a summer property for them. And the price to redeem is $8,988.79 if she were to redeem it by November 1st? No. September 1st. And she is looking for some relief from some of the fees and fines.
Has she made any payments from 10/30/15 until now?
No, and she didn't make any payments before deeded either. She had not made a payment in the three years of unpaid taxes, so.
So this goes back to 2012.
She couldn't have, just to be clear, she couldn't have made a
After.
payment once we deeded, once it was deeded.
But
She had not made.
The 3 years
payments
before that, from 12 to 15, we deeded it, I think in October or November of 15, and there were no payments made in that 3-year period. On 2 pieces of property, actually, that she had responsibility for. She has redeemed the other piece, but not this piece.
so if we do this, and she doesn't pay, then where does it sit? Because
Nothing
she
really
hasn't had
happened.
a history of paying.
Nothing really happens. I mean, you could make a motion to abate a certain amount pending her, but if she doesn't ever redeem it, that abatement wouldn't go with the property. It is strictly for her. Frankly, this is the piece of property that we paid the association fees on, and my recommendation to the Board of Selectmen would be in the future to send a 90-day letter regarding redemption and put them on the next auction and not hold on to them for the additional 3 years, so.
I mean, if she hasn't paid anything in those 3 years, I mean, it doesn't seem like
Is she here
she's
tonight?
gonna.
No.
Beverly Eaton? I would table this until she's actually sitting in front of us, ready to pay. That's my motion.
And I'll second it. You think that's a good idea, Kelly?
I will send her a letter and let her know.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next thing, purchase order for $21,140.60, general fire schedule A.
So there's a purchase order for $21,000 for radios for the fire department.
In their vehicle, or,
Dual band mobile radio, I'm assuming. These are all.
they can carry with them?
Well, there's 3 mobile radios, 2 portables, 2 chargers, 2 batteries.
Has this gone out to bid?
I don't know the answer to that question. My guess would be probably not. I believe they do all their radio work with us, P Mountain Electronics. There's only 2 or 3 places in the state that sell this kind of equipment. My guess would be that he shopped it around and this place was cheaper, so that's the one he chose, but I doubt if he did a full bid.
Do we have, how much money do we have in that schedule, general fire schedule A? We have that amount of money in there?
Yes, this is what was budgeted actually,
This is what
and
was-
according to the schedule that.
The exact amount.
Included in that, within pennies.
Okay.
I would ask that we at least get one other bid for this.
And if he has one other price, are you okay with proceeding?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Table until next meeting.
Well, can you make the motion to authorize me to sign it in your place if he has the documentation that you require? That way he doesn't have to wait 2 more weeks to order them.
Okay with that?
I don't know what the lead time is on these radios, you know, sometimes it's 2 or 3 months to get them in.
I just want to make sure that we're not single sourcing.
Okay. Yep, I'll make that clear, and if he's got prices, then I will provide them to you, and if he has not, then I will tell him that you want at least another written price.
Motion to accept this bid portion, pending verification of a second bid and allowing Kelley to proceed with the purchase.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
CIA contract for query manager support.
Okay, so there is a contract renewal here for the support for the GIS system. So the GIS system is the one that Nate uses in building, shoreline protection. It's only a $500 contract, and probably Teresa signed it in the past, but since this is kind of my first year, I want to make sure you're aware of this. We've had this contract with this company, and like I said, it's $500 a year, but it provides the GIS mapping service for the building department. And if you're okay, I'll just sign off on it.
Motion to allow the town administrator to sign off on the $500 contract with CAI Technologies.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And, oh, you sign that?
Not sure.
Oh, okay. ESRI renewal quotation for ArcGIS.
Okay, similar thing, this is the software, is that right?
That's the annual cost for the license.
Okay, so this is the actual support and software, and this is the actual license for the same thing. Also used by the building department. Not to be confused with like the tax map. This is GIS mapping, because that'd be too easy if it was all one.
Motion to allow the town administrator to sign off on this contract for $400 to ESRI.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I finally get this up on here. Okay, Level Lake Association, reference installation of memorial bench. Do you want to come up and tell us about it, or?
I thought I was just here to answer questions.
Oh, well,
As you know, we had a family that passed away very after the with nuts. And Level Lake Association has been receiving donations in their memory. And it had been expressed by this family at one time that if donations were received, they would love to have a memorial bench at the boat ramp where they spent a lot of time and did water testing and volunteer lake host and so forth. So Level Lake would like to honor their wishes and then pay tribute to them for all of the hours of volunteer work they did testing water, protecting our lake. So I submitted an example of what they call a park bench.
This will be exact.
That's
It'll be
the one.
engraved or anything?
On the back,
Oh,
yeah, on just the rest right at that back, yeah.
So
As
you can
opposed
see
to-
it and you
Yes.
can
You sit down,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, as opposed to a bench that you would put it on a seat and it fills with water and sand and grit and so forth. So we would do it on the back. And the wording that had been suggested was Level Lake caretakers and then their names. I've talked with Roy Monument in Rochester and they would be able to come over and install. They would put it on a cement precast base so that there would be no grass growing through it or make it easier to, maintain around it. And it would be attached to that, so it
So
won't.
they pin it so
fall.
nobody would fall off of it or anything?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, it will be secure. It's as secure as any monument or cemetery is. There's no guarantees, but can be reattached if there are problems. We went down and looked at the site, and behind the Level Lake sign is an area that's quite flat. And it provides, it's away from all the traffic and the boats coming and going and so forth. There's tall grass there, and it just seemed like a serene place someone might sit and read a book or.
So it would be on this side of the sign right here,
Yes.
on this
On the back
one side of the.
Yes. That's
So
what we
it
were
would
thinking.
be, so this, the other side is the driveway side, which
Oh, right.
concerned both Wayne and I that it not be out where it could be hit
Yeah.
by a trailer, because people backing trailers, I don't know how they actually do that.
Not well.
It's a pain.
Yes,
I can't do it at all, so it would be on this side, on
That's
the grassy side,
Yes.
away from the driveway.
Right, so it would be between the road and that bed that's there, and then the tall grass that abuts the lake.
And you don't have any concern with it maybe heaving up in the winter? Is it gonna be a small slab or?
I didn't get into the dimensions, but they're the ones that do a lot of work in town
Yeah.
here, and they assured us that
Roy's
this
is
would be.
very good.
Yes, would do that for us, and it would be secure, and obviously Level Lake is willing to maintain it.
I was gonna ask you.
We will take responsibility for the bench, and
Mhm.
we also have a liability insurance policy that will take care of that. And if it should be damaged, then we would do whatever has to be done to take care of the situation. If it's beyond repair, it'll be removed. If it can be repaired, we'll repair it.
You wanna make that motion?
I'd love to make that motion. I'd make a motion that we okay the purchase by Level Lake Association of the installation of a memorial bench, with them taking care of it, upkeeping it and installing it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very nice, Pam, very nice bench. It'll be nice. Request to waive dog licensing forfeiture fees. Do we have a ticket?
It's,
You did it because of the puppies that weren't weaned last meeting.
Oh, yes.
But this does not rise to that level, I do not believe. This person, and you shouldn't say their name because
No.
they've had financial hardships, but
Right.
frankly, I think that's kind of a slippery slope. So she says she sent the check in May, I believe. But unfortunately, the town clerk did not receive it until July, which means the fines kick in. And she has been in contact with the animal control officer regarding this. And he told her that he did not have the authority to waive fees. And she also called me. I told her I didn't have the authority to waive any taxes or fees, that it had to come to you. And Valerie asked her to send you a letter, so that's what we did. We had her put a request in writing. I do feel compassion for her because she doesn't seem to have a lot of disposable income, but pets are not a necessity, they're kind of an extra. And I think that a lot of people have run afoul of the fines for dog licensing, and other than that one instance where you had puppies still nursing, he asked for an extension to the end of July without a fine so that the puppies could be weaned because he didn't want to get the mother dog the rabies shot, and you can't get them licensed without the rabies shot.
How many animals does she have?
I believe it's 2.
Hmm.
So the original licenses would have been $9.
They're not sprayed or
Plus the
neutered?
dollar mail.
Guess not.
Yeah, it would have been $9 for each dog plus the dollar mail-in, so it would have been $20 if she paid on time, and now with the fine and the extra mail-in, it's $37 each. So basically what happened was, she dated a check in May, and Valerie did not get the check until July 3rd. So she sent the check back because it did not include the fines. And then told her that she couldn't abate the fines and that she would have to approach you. Actually, the animal control officer gave her an additional 15 days to pay, and when she was served, she told the officer that the town clerk told her that she had until September. And Valerie never told her that. She actually wrote her a letter on July 3rd telling her that the fines were in play, so
I don't know, I understand, you know, her circumstances and everything, but I don't know that we can do that. If we do that, then anybody else that didn't license their dog and gets the fine, we can in and,
she had from April until June 1st.
right.
And Valerie sends out a reminder as well, so
Yeah.
I mean, it appears she knew she had to pay sometime in May because she wrote a check and dated it, but somehow it just didn't get mailed or it did not get to us until July 3rd,
Yeah.
which is a big disconnect. I mean,
Yeah. What do you think, Lino?
I'm gonna go with, no.
I feel that way
It's a
too.
slippery slope. If we stop that, it's just gonna be,
Right.
you know, we have to hold people accountable.
Yeah.
Everybody files their paperwork on time.
Right. So.
Motion to deny waiving the fees.
don't say anything, please.
Second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Capital Reserve Fund.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a Greater Wakefield Resource Center $1,400 check. This is the final payment for the painting project at the Greater Wakefield Resource Center. You've already paid the, I think there was an installment before this.
Yeah.
Is it satisfactory been completed?
Yes.
And we have a sign off from,
That's my initial, the director submitted this as complete.
so that you have the letter from her saying, you know, it's all set, ready to go.
No, I just have the email she sent to me.
Just completed,
Okay, as long as,
Yeah.
okay.
And this is just basically, we've already paid for it. This is refunding the capital reserve. This is taking the money out of the capital reserve fund and refunding the general fund.
And this guy didn't bid on painting,
Nope, and I specifically sent it to him as well. I sent it to 5 local painters that I know have done work in town, and he was one of them, including the guy that gave us the budget number. And he did not bid either.
Motion to pay the remaining balance to Mr. Glidden.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Now, correspondence.
You have to sign that. $26.
Is that
Just
gonna
turn
be
it upside
all right?
down.
It's all right.
Oh, boy. You gotta pay attention. Okay, now, the correspondence. So, are these anything that we're supposed to okay, these Road Scholar 2 and Safety Champion?
No, it just means that they both finished additional training at UNH's T2 Center. So Seth got the Road Scholar 2,
Mm-hmm,
and he's also a safety champion.
yeah,
And then Mike Laffey,
same thing, right?
he also finished the Road Scholar 2 and is a safety champion. I would suggest that I draft a letter for the Board of Selectmen's signature to put in their personnel files,
That would be
congratulating
great.
them on these.
Yes, good job. All of them.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Seth Garland and Michael
Laffey.
Laffey for their dedication to the town and their learning experience to be used for town purposes.
Right. Second that. Okay, Clearview Community TV second quarter report.
Come on down.
She's got it?
You got it?
She has it, oh yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can.
Yeah, it should be in your packets.
Yep.
In your packets.
If you have any questions,
I don't have the chart.
You don't have it? You don't have it? It's right there. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I thought this was on.
You thought it was
I
us?
thought it was, yeah, I thought it was breaking.
No, well,
That's something we're gonna go over.
You newly know, so just to recap, part of our memorandum of agreement with the town, you may remember, Connie, is that we do submit quarterly reports, just outlining where the money's going. I have no problem with doing that. Every penny is always accounted for in the bank statements balance. And it kind of just keeps us all, is where we're going and what we're doing. If you ever have any questions, this is the first time that the town administrator, the previous administrator didn't do it this way, but she received them. They've always been, and just to give you a recap, we submitted a budget last November that kind of, based on what we expected for revenues and what we expected to spend, and I sent something to Kelley the other day, that I did a kind of an informal 6-month report, and we're right on track. We're not over budget. We're right where we should be. We won't be asking for any tax funds. I mean, we live on the franchise fees that the town generates. And we work within our budget, so.
How often do you get the franchise fees?
Every quarter, we submit a request for funding, and we get a check from the town, because actually the town receives money every quarter from Time Warner, Charter, or Spectrum, whoever they are.
Yeah.
And as you know, it sits in a revolving account that the voters voted for many years ago to be used solely for that. And I always remind people that we do not, it's a tax on your TV channel. I won't call it anything else.
Right.
But it's only on the people that receive it. And actually, the people who don't receive it still can use our services, because they can go online and see all that stuff too.
Yeah.
So it's a good deal there, but we do not receive any property tax funding. So I try to make remind people of that. But we receive money. It's on your cable bill,
Yes.
and it's a tax.
Yep.
Under any, call it a user fee or a fancy name, but it is, but not a broad tax for property. So we're doing very well. We're very happy with the way things are going. I would assume that other people are too, or your phones would be ringing.
Yes, seems to be.
So we need a motion to.
No, I just wanted to make sure that it was disclosed and that you had a chance to ask
Can I
questions.
ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
What is web video hosting site?
Okay, we have if you go on the town website, which says Clearview TV, we have a site, it's kind of like YouTube, but we use a company called Vimeo, because this company, we pay them money, and they don't put all these ads in front of all the videos. And there's something like 4 years worth of selectmen's meetings, school board meetings, Everything from the first time everything is on there for anybody to watch anytime.
Wow.
These are out there for 4 years.
Yeah, I think it's 4 years worth.
Yeah, you've been, yeah.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah, that's fabulous.
I was, so,
I'd like to thank you for your service.
well, we do what we can for the
Right.
people of the town.
Yeah, but we can't forget Ed though.
No,
Oh,
we
and
can't
Ed does
forget
too?
Ed.
I'm
We
just
thank
Does a
you.
great job.
Ignore me after the book here.
Thanks, Jim.
Sure.
Yeah. Charter communication. Charter communications.
Yeah, Charter Communications is notifying us that they have a price increase. You get these right before the customers get them.
Mm-hmm.
So the broadcast TV surcharge is going from $6.05 a month to $7.50 a month. And then the Spectrum receivers are going from $3.99 to $4.99 per receiver.
Well, now everybody knows that their cable bills now. Wow.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, public comment. Number 2. Jim.
As you know, I always have something to say. I was just wanting to address something I've been seeing on at the meetings. It seems like the last several meetings, we have people coming to the selectmen, asking the selectmen to do something that's not even within their power, or even create somehow an exemption from the law for individuals. And I mean, it was, I don't know the circumstances of tonight, but there was a couple of things on the agenda. And first thing I want to say to the two of you is thank you for your efforts on this, it shouldn't be how good of an arm twister you are, whether you get a tax abatement or a fee exempt. I know that when I make mistakes and people make mistakes, there are consequences, and I have to live with those consequences. And I know that it must be difficult for you to sit there and hear things, but I wondered if there's a policy. I mean, for example, people coming about tax abatements and so forth at an earlier meeting. I mean, it seems to me that's not even within the purview of the selectmen to even do anything about that. That's an assessor issue.
Right.
And it seemed like a lot of time was taken up at a meeting. And I respect people's right to come to the selectmen and ask any question, but at the same time, I have difficulty understanding how people would come to you and knowing that you couldn't grant their request even if you wanted to. And I wondered if there is a policy in place about some of these things would it be appropriate for someone to come to the selectmen for something that's not a selectman issue? I don't know, public comment is there, but I did want to, I often, if I have a concern about the selectmen, I make it known, and I want it known that I appreciate that the selectmen have held a steady course on this. And I know it's difficult for you sometimes. But the 99.9% of us that are abiding by the law or live with the consequences, need to be thought about too. So thank you for what you've done. And I don't know if some type of policy could be generated or whatever. And maybe it's not something you want to do, but you might consider something like that.
I think a lot of people come knowing that there are certain things we can't do, but I think the reason they come is because they want the public to know this is going on. So I just feel, we need to listen to them and make it clear to them, we can't do anything about that. That's not in our jurisdiction at all. So, but I do feel that we should listen. We should listen to people.
Yeah, you should. But like at the last meeting, the only thing one thing I didn't hear at that meeting that troubled me with a couple of nonprofits that came to you, I didn't hear anything said about an appeal or a fundraiser to cover these mistakes. I didn't, you know, and the TV channel is there. I've even offered to assist these people because a nonprofit can be used to put out an appeal. And we have a very generous town here, and I think that some of these, but I didn't really see that, you know,
You mean
being talked
an appeal
about.
for money,
An appeal for money.
as opposed to an appeal as in an appellate from the decision of the
Well,
assessment. Because we did run over what the appeal process was to appeal the assessing board's decision. And that's through the Board of Tax and Land Appeals, and I believe Lino gave him that application. It wasn't the correct application. There's a different one for the A9, but we have since hooked them up with the right application and steered them in the right direction for appealing the decision of the assessing board, because this was not the right place to do that. But you mean appealing for money?
I meant, yeah,
fundraising.
appeal was probably the poor word for that. I meant fundraising, you know, an outpouring for help because this mistake's been made. I mean, we've got a generous town here, and we've got a very forgiving town, and I think that if these folks made it known, they could get some help in these mistakes. So, you know, and the channel is there, and I'm willing to work with anyone, a nonprofit, because that's appropriate to help them with that. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Close public comment.
Yep, close public comment. Nobody else had anything? Okay. Town administrator, update.
So I have an update on the salary survey. I sent out 17 requests for information. I've only had 4 responses, so I'm going to double down next week and call them all. I'd like to get at least 12 or 13. It's vacation time, kind of, so I'll speak to each town administrator or finance director and see if they intend to answer and try to get a little bit better response. But I have gotten 4. And then I also wanted to talk to you guys about the meeting dates in September. So I think you know when you hired me that I had already bought airline tickets for that. I'm flying out on the 8th of September, and I'm going to be gone through the 15th. So I'm going to miss that whole second week, and that's normally you meet the 2nd and 4th. I'd hate to stick the rest of the staff here with a selectmen's meeting because I think they're going to have plenty to do. So I was wondering if you would be willing to entertain the idea of perhaps moving the selectmen's meeting that's normally scheduled the 2nd Wednesday of the month to the 1st Wednesday, because we're going to be off, I believe it's the 31st of August. The 30th. So your meetings in August would be the 9th and the 23rd. So you were going to have 2 weeks off. You're going to have August 30th and September 6th off, and then meet again. September 6th is the Labor Day week, so it's not an ideal week to have a meeting, but I would rather not miss a week in September, because you're also going to be starting ratcheting up budgets, and I don't want us to get too far behind. I know the chairman's not here, and the chairman generally sets meeting dates, so if you want to tentatively be okay with it, you two, and then I can run it by him, I'm willing to do that. Our other date for that month would be the 27th, so we would have a selectmen's meeting on the 6th, nothing on the 13th, nothing on the 20th, and have one on the 27th. And then I was thinking we could schedule a budget work session the 3rd week when I come back from vacation. I've already started to meet with department heads. I think I've met with 5 department heads so far to go over their budgets, so we should be in pretty good shape.
That works for me. How about you, Lynn?
School board, do you have a school board meeting?
Yeah.
Do they meet
The
on
first.
Wednesdays?
First and third.
And third.
1st and 3rd, okay. So I don't know what you want to do, because I think that's a long time to go from August 23rd to September 27th without a meeting.
Yeah,
It's-
definitely.
It doesn't seem doable. And I know there's other boards that meet in this room. I don't know how you wanna handle it. I don't know if you want them to have a selectmen's meeting potentially without you, or if there's another night.
Could you have everything prepared by the 7th and then we work everything from the 7th on the 13th? Or
Without me.
without you, be briefed and whatever needs to be done?
How do you feel about that?
Can do whatever needs to be done.
Okay,
Because that way, I mean, if anything comes in after that, we would just postpone it to the next meeting.
okay. So you close the agenda on the
On the
7th
7th, yeah.
before I leave,
Because it would normally close on the 8th,
right?
so one day should be fine.
And then just deal with whatever you
Whatever.
have, because that's already gonna be 2 weeks.
Right,
Mhm.
so we'd have to
Because
follow.
we have an extra week and you're good with that. And then, do you want me to talk to Charlie and come up with some alternate date for budget work sessions since you can't do the first? Because I think they used to do the off week for budgets, but if with you being on the school board, we'll have to pick another night.
Yeah, we can pick a different day.
Okay.
Yep.
And we can do that. That's a work session. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be at
Mhm.
7 o'clock at night. I mean, we
Right.
could,
5, 4, 3,
1:30.
1:30?
Well,
Donna?
I'll talk to Charlie and see what his availability is
I
and
believe,
come up with
the
some.
first Wednesday of the month is your heritage meeting.
Yes, I don't know, but
Oh,
I can miss that.
okay. I didn't know if you remembered.
Yes, I did. But it's also Lino School Board. So,
Too much.
yes, I guess so.
We'll get through the budget
Yep.
this year.
Yep.
This year.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, any building permit releases? None. Payment manifest. Uh-huh.
I already looked through this one.
I did too.
You did.
I did,
Uh,
sorry.
what's the
I'm
amount?
so proud of you.
There was just a couple questions.
Of course there was.
Just a couple.
What's the amount?
83,628. I'm sorry. There you go.
This is the treasurer's warrant for $83,627.08. I have already looked through it. Did you have a question, Lino? Can you
Yeah, I
remember?
did. I wanted to try one. Nothing wrong with that. I saw all the bills for that. So it was in there. I don't have the paper next to it.
They should be under E for Eversource.
No, I got those.
Oh.
Who are these guys?
Sanbornville something Motors, I think.
Mhm.
So this is the copy machine company. So our agreement with the copy machine company is that we have an allowance of 12,000 black and white copies and 8,000 color copies per year. So when we go over, we get billed 0.009 cents, so with that 9/100ths of a cent for black and white and 0.6 of a cent or 6 cents for color, 9/10 for black and white. So
So we went over?
we did. No, this is ours. We did not go over.
Okay.
The color copier downstairs goes over occasionally. I've been printing stuff like the hazard mitigation plan. We just got that back and it had a bunch of maps and charts and we had to have one for every department head, so we printed that in color. Generally the building department, because they do a lot of GIS mapping stuff and like color photos of code violations. Like when you're explaining to somebody that they have clear cut or cleared all the scrub off lakefront property, you know, it's way better to print that photo in color. So they use it a lot more than I do.
And what fund is that? 01446.
General fund.
It's the general fund is 01, but 4611 is conservation.
Is it their
It's
main
their
fund or their?
operating
They
budget.
have an educational sponsor in their, line in their budget.
So they send kids to a conservation camp.
Yes.
And I think the way Nate explained it to me is in some years they have as many as 17 kids applying, but they don't have that much money in the scholarship fund. So sometimes they sponsor children $500 each and they have $2,000, so they send 4 kids. Sometimes 17 kids want to go and they say, we have $2,500 and you're going to have to fundraise for the rest, which I think happened last year or the year before, where they sent 17 kids and they did raise the rest of the money.
And was that 2,000 or 3,000?
It was reduced from 2,500 down to 2,000.
That's it.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the treasurer's warrant.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Board minutes, July 12th. I've looked over them.
So I have 2 sets of sealed non-publics too.
Okay. The ones I'm looking at are not sealed. Okay. Did you look at these, Lino? Did you get a chance to look at these?
The non-public or the public?
July 12th. This, in here, it says we made a motion to seal.
So there's a set of regular minutes and then, was there one set of non-public that are not sealed?
Yes.
And then there's the 2 sets that you voted to seal that I just handed you.
These 2 that are sealed.
Yeah, the ones with the envelopes are sealed.
So do you need a motion?
Yep.
Motion to seal the
Yeah.
non, oh, we already made that motion.
You already motioned to seal them, you just have to motion to approve them. And please sign it on the second page. That's the
Okay.
signature block.
Alright. Motion to approve the minutes from, non-public minutes from July 12th,
Sealed and unsealed.
sealed and unsealed.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And then you need a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes. Which do you have those?
Is there 2 sets?
So here's your unsealed non-publics and here's your regular minutes.
Okay.
You already made a motion on that
Motion on these 2.
with the seal.
Yeah, that one.
So you just need to make a motion on the regular meeting minutes.
Okay. So we don't need one for this?
No, you already said sealed and unsealed.
Glad somebody's paying attention.
Is this a test?
We have lots of tests. See?
It's a little uncomfortable in here.
Breathless,
And
it's
this one.
breathless in here. Right, you have it this summer.
This one's here.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
If you would do that other one, that would be, if you wanted to move through the process.
I think everything
Did they make
looked,
that motion here?
everything looked good. I don't know if you had anything you
No,
wanted.
I read them over.
Motion to accept the July 12th meeting minutes as presented.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we need a selectmen's work session? Is there anything anybody needs to discuss?
I think we already did that with the, changing the meeting. Or having
Okay.
a meeting, or adjusting the,
Yeah. Did you have anything, Kelly?
No? For the selectmen?
Okay.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Could we look at getting that sign on 16 for the business? It's a white and green sign, it says business district and has a little arrow coming to town. I meant to pull it up for you, but I forgot what the.
I think you sent me the regs.
Yeah.
I think it's 40 or 50 pages. I
Yeah,
got through the first 20.
it's quite involved, but.
Yeah, I will move it to the top of the pile.
Perfect.
Sorry.
But no, that's fine, if you got other things to do. I think it'd be nice to have it ready maybe for next spring, we can put a timetable on it.
Do you want to sign this other one in here? Just so they know you saw it. I'll do what I can. I don't know how fast the OT moves, but I will work on the application.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have any pending non-public? Madam Chair, I motion to adjourn.
I second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good meeting.